people are not hearing each other. Like we're having gender wars in 2022, bro. Like we're not hearing each other because the truth is put in ways where I got a response to that. It's arguing. It's like we're like Kanye said, you're not trying to find the issue where the issue is. You're just trying to find where the tissue is. It don't matter what the truth is. I'll give you the truth in a negative way and you're going to come back with your truth in a negative way. We didn't hear anything. So I get it. Yes, when it comes to people that are acquisitive and they want to know what the answer is, it's a further conversation, they'll find it. But then the people that need to hear it, that's kind of lost in the fucking argument, are not hearing it. Because for every inch you take, there'll be another motherfucking bad bitch or I just fit in and fuck them niggas. That's going to be the response.
Yeah. Sean Johnson, Head Steph, Sade Renee.
Namaste.
We're back. Tuned in to the IC. What's up?
What it do?
Hey guys.
What's up?
How's everybody doing?
Oh man, school time.
Word up.
Man, I've been stressed.
It's just a lot.
Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie. It's been a little hectic on my way,
But
man.
it's the transition.
It's the transition, man. Like,
And it's fall. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense.
I haven't been in school for quite some time, and I'm back in school, and yeah, man, it's hard, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's like I'm doing these. I have one online class, which is so fucking awkward. Like, bro, like
why?
It's like I've never experienced something like where like so I'm like I got my streaming set up, and that's why I do my classes now. And it's just big ass screen and all these
Everybody's
faces,
on there.
and it's just like they're right here, and I'm just like. We're all just like eyes, just like what do we doing? Like the teacher's talking, and it's like he demands that everybody's cameras on. It's just, it's very awkward.
If your camera's not on, you're not here.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And I mean, that's cool, but it's just like 3 hours of that, and it's just like now I got assignments that I got to turn in, and it's like, damn, like
time management is a bitch
my time
right
management
now.
is horrible, bro. Like I'm not an organized person, like by any stretch of the meaning. Like I and it's bad. Like I need to work on that, but I didn't realize how bad it was until recently. Like my mind is literally in a scramble, bro. Like I don't know. Anyways, how y'all doing?
Everybody's good. Everybody's grinding, starting to get a little cold outside. When it's cold outside.
I like it.
Yeah, I do like it too.
I
bro.
love it.
I ain't gonna lie, that
shit feels
heat
so
was
good.
bothering me, bro.
Me too.
And plus that AC bill was fucking high as a motherfucker. So yeah.
I like the fall. I like the vibe of the fall. I was geeking out because I was just like, yeah. It's like everybody's going through a transition. School starts. Everybody's going like starting new jobs, moving, and it's happening at the same time that fall's happening.
Okay.
And it's like,
yeah,
this is cool. I didn't realize like just how seamlessly like life happens. It's just like, oh, okay. Yeah. You gotta like fall into it. And it's just it's adjustment period. And September is literally like fucking wild. Like it's all over the place. But once October, November come around, you start really getting into it. You'll be okay. Yeah,
that's true. I love fall. I'm not gonna lie. Like I think fall and spring are my favorite seasons of the year. I do not fuck with winter. I do not. Well, some would just be doing too much, my nigga. Like you can't wear a fit without sweating. It's just like niggas be moving around too much. Sometimes people be talking a little. Summertime was like. You just gotta keep away from people.
Is summer overrated?
OD.
Overrated.
I don't know why people like the fucking summertime. I think they just equate it to like when you were in school, you had off in the summertime.
Exactly.
Like my daughter was like, this summer is whack. Yeah. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, everybody's like, you get this hype feeling like when summer's about to come, you're like, oh, summer's coming, and summer come. And you're like, this is it. You're mad hot. You're uncomfortable. Some people is just like all over the place. Some people there's like not really much to do. And it's just like, this is what we've been waiting all year for.
Summertime stopped being fire after college, like my early college years. Because like, you know, young kids, when we young, that was the reason to like, It's summertime. We finna get lit.
Synonymous with a break and lit.
Yeah. So once I got to adulthood, like, and
fuck this
what the fuck? Get this shit out of here, dog. It's like
I still gotta work. I still gotta get shit done.
Like,
Don't shit stop.
And it's too damn hot, man. Like I gotta put on a suit or whatever if I'm going to work or whatever. It's just too hot. Car hot when you get in, seatbelt be burning and shit, my nigga. Like,
and don't have leather seats. That shit be done.
Be sitting there sticking, take 2 showers a day, and the shit is still not enough sometimes. Like, it just be,
you just want to take your skin off.
Bro, like, that ass, bro. Then the AC, bro, I'm sorry, bro. I don't know. Like, if y'all balling out here, whoever watching, my nigga, but that electric bill is just like, can we talk to somebody? Like,
can we talk about adulting?
Adulting is a lot, bro. Let's just not do it anymore. I vote out.
I never wanted to grow up. And then I grew up and I'm like, this is exactly why the fuck I didn't want to grow up. This shit is a lot.
Oh, we supposed to grow up? I didn't know that shit.
There's a lot. Like they called me Peter Pan because it was like I refused. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, fine. Let me settle into growing up. And now it's like bills. Filling out paperwork, bills.
Yeah, I don't mind like, taking care of my shit. It's just sometimes a nigga just want to a break, Sometimes a nigga want a break.
It's like vacations are like very like they're well needed. And it's like once if you are living a life where you can't vacate, then it's like
you're miserable.
Yeah, you're miserable. So it's like you have to. It's almost like you have to reach a threshold in life where you're successful enough to vacate.
Yeah.
And yet you can't really stay trapped, or it's just gonna feel like
pointless,
bro.
Yeah. Like I don't understand how people do I don't know. Like I'm such a different person from when like before. Like I was in the military. Yeah, that shit is worse than 9 to 5s. It's like you don't come off the clock. And then I came out and like it was just like I tried that again and it was like, man, I don't want to live in the fucking Groundhog Day movie, bro. Like I just felt like
the same day
is another fucking hour, like another fucking hour in the same day. It's just like, what is going on? I don't know, bro.
It becomes monotonous.
So monotonous.
Especially like when you're doing work that you're not necessarily like we have to work.
Yeah, we gotta work. I don't mind that.
I've always been a person who's like, if I don't love it, I can't do it. And now it's at the point where it's like, I have people to support. Not only am I looking out for myself, but I'm looking out for little people. So I have to do things that I don't want to do. That's like the biggest part about adulting is like doing a bunch of shit you don't want to do because you got to do it. Yeah. And it kind of pays off later. But in the moment, you're like, I don't want to fucking do this shit.
Yeah. I tried both. I tried just doing straight what I want to do, and being broke is way too expensive. It's way like you be broke and bills pile up on bills, and then you can't pay this bill, so they give you a late fee, and then like your whole life.
This is wild, bro.
That shit don't make no
let's
sense.
talk about that for a second.
About what?
I don't have the money to pay what you're asking for. So you're gonna charge me more.
Wait, the bank does it when you're like when they overdraft, and it's like, nigga, I didn't have the money, and then you knew that.
Yeah,
you're watching my account, you knew that, but you're gonna take the money anyway. Then you're gonna charge me for not having the money.
And I get it. There's gotta be some type of penalty, but god damn, I ain't gonna lie, bro. There was like a time in my life. I'm ashamed to say this, and I'm proud to say this is no longer ever will be a situation in my life anymore. But there was a time where overdraft it was accounted for in my head. Like, oh yeah. Oh, I got how many in there? Oh yeah, go ahead. Like that means I can afford this. I knew it to a cent. Like how much I can spend.
Man, I think everybody been there. I'm not ashamed to talk about it because I've been broken and broke. Nobody broke it in me. None of y'all niggas got getting it like I'm getting it. You get what I'm saying?
I don't know, bro.
I can't.
I will say I just signed up.
Nigga, I've been broke.
We both been broke, my nigga.
I got money too, nigga. you saw that?
Yeah.
With Lil Turk?
Yeah.
He's funny.
Yo.
Nah, but
being broke, like you ever like it almost ruins your life.
Yeah.
So like say you have a car, right? And like you young, you do some dumb shit, you lose your job, right? Mm-hmm. Then you can't pay for the car. you can't pay for the insurance, so now they try to take the car. Now, if you can't pay the insurance and you don't sacrifice your registration, surrender your registration, they take away your license. And
it's a ripple effect.
It's like a whole ripple effect.
Yeah.
They niggas try to lock you up.
They penalize the poor.
They sure do.
They penalize the poor. Like
I remember Andrew Tate saying that fines are for the poor.
Yep.
He said that, and I kind of noticed it, like when I was out in Atlanta and I was out in LA and I seen it, and like niggas with Ferraris will park it right in front of the motherfucker.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
that's because they're paying for the parking.
Yeah, they'll pay for that $120 to park right in front of the fire hydrant or the bus stop or whatever. So it's like they penalize the poor because those little fees don't like mean anything to the rich.
Yeah. What do you think about Andrew Tate?
I like Andrew Tate. I just think he tries to agitate people, and
so you're aware that it's like
in the midst of him agitating people, he's giving off the wrong message.
Yeah. I think
he's antagonistic.
He is
in nature. Like he wants people to get worked up. But I don't know what it is about me. It's just like, if it's bothering everybody that much, then there must be something to what he's saying. Like if everybody's pissed off, because when you're pissed off, it's like, if it don't apply, let it fly. You get what I'm saying? But if it's like something that he's saying and people are getting so worked up that they kind of feel like they did about Kevin Samuels, it must be something that needs to be paid attention to.
I think Kevin Samuels is a little bit more goal directed. Like he had a mission he was on. I feel like Andrew Tate, I feel like he has a lot of good points. Yeah. A lot of them. Yeah. But then it's like lost in the character that he's building. Which,
like what?
So like, for instance, like the idea that, so there's this idea of like the difference between a man and a woman cheating. I don't know why I feel like we should explore that, because it's like, it almost sounds like justification for cheating, which is, I don't think it's right on any means, by any means, or by any gender. But there is a clear difference.
There is a good difference.
Like a man, like as a man, I know you have, and I know I have had had physical relations with a woman that had no emotional attachment to it. Yeah. It was just like something to do.
Just here for a good time.
Just, you know what I mean? Like it was just something to do. Like I know men cheating is, and I hate to compare wrongs, but it means, I feel like there is a reason for like why it means something. And it's like, I don't think like, oh, all women should be okay with men just sleeping around. I'm not saying that. But I think like it's something to understand. I think it's just better for understanding purposes.
That's kind of like, I'm trying to see what you're saying. It's kind of like still undefined to me. But what I always try to say, what I always try to think at least is like, I can't jump inside a woman's brain and a woman's body and know that, okay, it hurts me more than it hurts her when I cheat or vice versa. You know, like
hence why I say it's not wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't like justify, like, because I think the argument is like primitively that if a guy cheats, then the woman gets mad because he's sharing the resources, and it's instinctual. And if a woman cheats, then you don't know who the father is or something like that. It's like a situational, like a biological. I'm chopping it up, my bad, but
no, I get it.
It's like a primitive effect, but we're so far along in the future that a lot of these like primitive ideals had to change like 3 times over. Like they say people aren't supposed to eat meat, or we're supposed to be living like this because that's how our bodies like started, and like that was the natural form of our bodies. And that was so far along and so long ago, and we eat so much processed food. How do we know that our body's not used to plastic like processed substances now.
Yeah.
You know? And
like that's it's funny you say that, because just to put a tidbit on that. For instance, I was a pescatarian for 4 years.
Yeah.
1 year I was a vegetarian. I felt great. I then stopped and started eating meat and got super sick. Tried to go back to being pescatarian, and now I got stomach problems. Like, it's like, what happens if I didn't? In my mind, I'm thinking like, yo, like you would think people like that are normal eaters, like that eat regular. I see so many people that can eat whatever, and they don't have any issues. But what if I didn't become a pescatarian, right? And I just continued eating meat my whole life? Would I have had these issues? I guess I'll never know, but it kind of like makes me think like maybe I did something to my system to like restart it. And then like,
so that's the same exact thing that I'm saying. I know, right? That's why I brought it up. And to keep me on topic, right? It's the same thing about male and female dynamic in relationships. That the relationship has changed primitively from cavemen to relationships in
they've evolved.
And 2022 now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like in 8 years, the 80s would be 50 years ago.
God damn, that's scary. Woo.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, are we really gonna go by these like social standards? And did role reversal change?
That's what I'm saying. So
natures of law change?
Exactly. So that's why I had a problem. My fault, y'all. That's why, like, I feel like he has points that like are we're capable of exploring and having a conversation to come to an answer. Like, okay, and then like that will be done with it. But I feel like the reason why he says like out of this world crazy shit is because it's more palatable, it's more entertaining. It's more entertaining. If he would just have the conversation, well, like, yeah, it's kind of different when men cheat because this, that, and the other, just for understanding purposes, not to justify it or say it's okay, but X, Y, Z. And it's like, this is how men function and how we think. We're not emotionally or whatever he's trying to say. And then it'd be like, oh yeah, okay, well, the studies say this, studies say that. You kind of have a point. Maybe this is how we should start thinking about things going forward. That'd be done. It'd be done. There'd be no more Andrew Tate because he said what he said. He made a point. Other people would take it and carry it and develop the conversation. But he has to be like, I need to be warrior ready. And like that's the entertaining.
See, that doesn't bother me. And I was talking,
it doesn't bother me. I was talking, like, I can't take it serious.
I was talking to somebody else about this, and to really break it down, I think they clapped Kevin Samuels. I think they killed him.
Really?
Yeah, because he was right now. There's an agenda with the narrative of women. You know, there's this whole woman empowerment going on where it's like it turned from women wanting equality to now women being superior to men.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And now there's a lot of the agenda going on. If like you even look at rap, there's more female rappers. You look at the whole She-Hulk thing. Mm-hmm. She-Hulk is kind of ruining the legacy of the Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, he's one of the Marvel's strongest characters. Yeah. He's the more aggressive, out masculine characters in the Hulk. Yeah. You know, and
She-Hulk is trying to say she controls.
Right. Look what they're doing to Thor. They're making him comedy.
Yeah.
You know, there's an agenda going on, and it's like softening all like aspects of masculinity. And I think they did that to Kevin Samuels because he was crossing over into a commercial space. They not playing with Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is black, but he's white passing. Yeah. And he's influencing white kids. And they like, y'all not gonna come over this side of the fence and teach our young little white boys like a different narrative that we can't control. Yeah. So we're gonna either block you from everything, or if you want to end up like your boy Kevin Samuels, you can do that too. That's what I think.
I don't think that's a far-fetched idea. Usually I'm not like one for conspiracy, but I do feel like that's reasonable. because like the things that I'm starting to see, just the whole gender or gender
the battle between the sexes.
Not even just the battle between the sexes, but like trans folk and non-binary and the whole. They're changing. Like I was watching this thing with Jordan Peterson, and they were the psychology. What is the department that runs psychology? Whatever that department is, whatever that body, that entity is, they're changing things where like things that do not make sense, like saying like, see, and I don't even know if I'm right to say that. I'm not well educated on the situation, but basically they were like saying as if like a man thinks he's a woman, he is a woman. There's nothing psychologically wrong with that.
But that's exactly what that is. If he thinks that's the psyche.
And it's like,
I think we are experiencing Murphy's Law. Everything that can happen will happen on a massive level.
With fashion, with music, culture, everything.
I will say, I think that I kind of always talk about this, about the pendulum swinging. And I think that
it's swinging a little too damn hard right now.
But okay, so this is the way it goes, right? With the pendulum swinging. It's like, as far as it swings to one side, it's going to swing the other side. Which is
scary because
but it's going to come back to the middle. So me personally, I'm not really worried about it. I feel like I'm just observing this shit because I don't really have too many experiences with a lot of these things. I've met people who fit into everything that we're talking about. I've met the alpha male. I've met the super duper feminist. I've met trans people. And I've always explained, I don't understand your perspective, but I can see it.
I tolerate it. I don't.
It's like it really don't have. I feel like it really doesn't have anything to do with me. But with that being said, it's like we're seeing the world at one point was extremely masculine driven. Women were in a position where they couldn't, do too much. We couldn't have a bank account without a husband. Yeah, like there was a lot of things going on. So I think that it's like, it's just swinging the other way. So now women are becoming the same, like almost that same
the same thing that they resented.
Right. It's like, if you live long enough, you become the monster that created you type thing. Yeah. I think that's what's happening. And whoever's in charge of, whoever's running it, like you said, with the agenda, I feel like it just fits with the agenda to, make a certain generation, a certain community a little bit more easier and softer to deal with. And I feel like with a lot of the stuff that's going on, I feel like it's really more about being educated about who you are. I feel like it's more about the individual. And we've made it this like collective thing where it's like a group of people that all agree with the same thing, but they really don't. If you talk to them, they all have different ideas about what it is. So I feel like it should be taken seriously as far as it's a part of your life. But it's just like, let what natural thing is happening happen. And I feel like it's just naturally going in the opposite direction of over masculinity. Now it's going to be over feminized and they're going to fight for that. And then we're going to eventually come back to the middle where we're like, okay, everybody needs to chill.
I have a theory, right? I think the whole narrative with what's going on with women is so the powers that be, they can control how to package truth, right? So for example, I think in society, men are told men have a different package when it comes to like truth. Like society's a lot more harsher to men, when it comes into like body dysmorphia and you never talk about a woman's weight.
Yo, it's funny that you.
But men have body dysmorphia as well.
Yeah, but you would tell a nigga like you fat. You would never tell a woman that.
Never. And that's funny, bro. It's funny that you say that because my fault if I keep.
So, no, I just want to relate the two. So, if we have a society where we demonize people that package the truth in a certain fashion that we don't like a Kevin Samuels, and we can cancel them or kill them like an Andrew Tate, then they can control how truth is given to society. Yeah. So now they could And now it's like they could funnel and like try to like tame and direct the messages where truth is being given to us, right? So
but that also falls in line with feminine, because feminine is just being. Like, let me just be who I am. Let me just do. Like, masculine's more doing. So if everyone's in a feminized state, they're more easy to control because that's
exactly
what they want.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's what I said with the pendulum swinging. That's exactly what it is. Before, you couldn't tell people. Everybody was doing. Like everybody there was people in charge. Now they're like losing control. So what do? Create a feminine society that wants to be told what to do.
I was watching this other female content creator actually this morning. I couldn't sleep. I was up until 5. She's like an advocate for men. I guess you could say that. She was saying how like
an ally. I feel like that.
You definitely are. I think you and there's a couple of them out there, and I appreciate them. She said something that kind of I never thought of. She said, and excuse me, I'm not trying to like beat up on women. I have to say that first, but she said something about women. Men don't have it bad because we never get bailed out of anything, any bad decision we make. Mm-hmm. Women have so many, anything women get into, they have a bailout. For instance, like if they want to have sex with somebody and unprotected, there's like 12 or 15 different forms of birth control. If she ends up getting pregnant, she has X amount of time to get an abortion. If she decides to keep the baby and stays with the man, she can take the baby from him and demand money from him. If she decides to get married to the man, and then things don't go the way she wants it to go, she can decide to like, I'm not happy, and because of that, I need half of what you make. It's just men. There's a false pretense against what women not having
people would
enough, and people would everything.
People would argue. I need to just so we're not on the same side of the coin. People would argue that you can say that both for men and women.
No,
right? And just so we're not on the same side of the coin, and they would say, hey, a guy could break up. Lose his wife and take her money, or a guy could like all the things you basically said, and I agree with what you're saying, right? And I remember seeing on the internet where people were talking about women not living in a fact-based reality, right? It's always
how I feel.
Yeah, exactly. It's always how I feel, and if you notice, that's why I'm bringing it back to how the truth is being packaged, because it shouldn't matter like about the messenger, it should matter about the message. If somebody's like Andrew Tate is giving us truth, it shouldn't matter if he's giving it to us
as a WWF star.
Yeah, as a WWF star, or as fucking Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
Like it really shouldn't matter. But when you take like the way so-called modern women digest certain truths, it's the way they want it to be like displayed on the platter. Like Kevin Samuels has to talk nice.
Yeah.
If you're a big girl, I can't talk about your weight, and I can't tell you about a new diet or that you're obese and it's not healthy. Or if, like, go ahead.
You kind of made me, like, contradict myself just a second ago, because I was with you until you said it shouldn't matter, the message should matter. But that's not always true.
Sometimes it's not what you say, but how you say it.
Yeah, because, like, think of it this way. Let's just put a hypothetical. Three black kids. They're outside, and two white kids. One white guy is walking by after their day of a shooting, unjust shooting from a police. Right? These three black guys see the white guy. They decide to beat him up and rob him in the name of Black Lives Matter. What's wrong with that?
But what's the truth?
Okay, but the fact that they're screaming out Black Lives Matter, the people that are already against Black Lives Matter, you're giving them fuel. the people that are on the fence about Black Lives Matter are now leaning to the other side. What they're doing is causing damage to the reputation of something positive. The message that's being sent is now being
but there's no truth in that situation.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, because we're talking about how the truth is being packaged.
But you got to hear what I'm saying though. Like people that's on the fence, they probably will listen to both sides. The people that are not on the fence, that is like, no, this is what it is. You're giving them fuel now. So yes, the truth could be right there. Remember when I told you a couple episodes back, I'm like, I've been trying to watch things that I disagree with, and just to see where these people are coming from. Now, if I would see something like that, that would make me more into
There's no truth in that situation.
But that's what I'm trying to say though. Like, there's truth in what Andrew Tate's saying. So everything he's saying in the way that he's saying it, I don't like this messenger. This is how these people are. But that's fuck what they're saying.
But that's different from your example because they shouldn't be beating up
anybody.
I get that. But what I'm saying is like
the main centerpiece of the situation has to be real and has to be the truth.
Black Lives Matter is real. That's the thing though. So like for instance, so basically all right. So maybe that's a bad example. The point of the matter is this. If Andrew Tate has something good to say that's truthful, that needs to be furthered in conversation, he may ruin it for a large group of people by conducting himself the way he does. I would have listened to what you said, but because you're acting like that, I no longer care what you have to say. And that conversation
so for example, right? Say if somebody had cancer, right? And they had a tumor growing, right? And they went to one doctor. The truth is they have cancer. They go to one doctor and one doctor is, oh shit, you got cancer. That shit ain't going too well, nigga. You need to, I don't like the message.
You gotta go find something. Go sort somebody else. Find it for another. Find somebody else. I'm not gonna trust that nigga. Like this is how he came out. That nigga ain't professional.
All right, but would you rather the doctor lie about? That's what I'm saying. The truth is what matters. Because would you rather the doctor lie about there being cancer?
I get
whether the doctor lies about there being. I mean, tells you whatever way it is. At the end of the day, you know that it's cancer.
And I get that. That's like
and what I'm trying to relate that to is that
him having the truth, and the truth is what's important.
Not really. What I'm trying to relate that to is the conversation has to be said. Like some things have to be brought to the light anyway. Whether these group of people like it, whether these people like it or not, it needs to be heard. So now it could be subjective or objective. If it's kept in the dark and we never know the truth, it hurts everyone.
I hear you. I do hear you, and I agree with you. But I feel like people like us that are just like inquisitive and trying to like look for the answer in that. Because look, this is what we do. We watch it. How many do you think the whole world? I don't think if the entire world was like that, we would be in the state that we are right now in society. Because people are not hearing each other. We're having gender wars in 2022, bro. We're not hearing each other because the truth is put in ways where I got a response to that. It's arguing. It's like we're like Kanye said, you're not trying to find the issue where the issue is. You're just trying to find where the tissue is. It don't matter what the truth is. I'll give you the truth in a negative way and you're going to come back with your truth in a negative way. We didn't hear anything. So I get it. Yes, when it comes to people that are acquisitive and they want to know what the answer is, to further conversation, they'll find it. But then the people that need to hear it, that's kind of lost in the fucking argument, are not hearing it. Because for every Andrew Tate, there'll be another motherfucking bad bitch or I just fit in there, fuck them niggas. That's going to be the response.
I agree, right? But I don't know. Maybe it's just my perspective and the way I look at things.
Yeah, but you gotta think.
I know, but I like it's just like with Kevin Samuels, right? Mm-hmm. He was somebody that told the truth, right? People didn't like hearing the truth, but now we are conscious of the truth. And he a lot of people didn't hear it. That's up to you if you want to be closed-minded. And a lot of people did hear it, and now they're a little receptive into being feminine or fit and friendly.
And I get,
you know what I mean?
And here's why I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm one more. I'm totally not against what you're saying. So here's the difference between Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tate. I feel like Kevin Samuels was on a mission. He was trying to accomplish a goal. Mm-hmm. I feel like Andrew Tate is trying to secure a career. Mm-hmm. Like his main goal is to create this character and continue going with it to get to higher places for himself, which is fine. It's entertainment. But the difference in the two is Kevin Samuel was rude. He was rude and very blunt. I sometimes was like, oh, but I'm still okay with it because sometimes I feel like you need a strong, firm response like that. You need somebody to tell you about yourself like that because obviously you haven't been hearing it like that. Andrew Tate is just excessive to me. Like, listen, this is what I told her. Listen, bitch. Like, come on, bro. What are you, dog?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it matters. It reminds me of just having the professor you don't like.
But I don't dislike Andrew Tate. I find him fucking hilarious. I just see where he's gonna go wrong, or where people. I feel like, all right. So my nigga, all right. Let's try to just one example. So, you ever try to you ever find something like as a kid that was entertaining, or that you like, that we all liked as a collective in our youth? That when your parents got a hold of it, it was just like, I don't understand what the fuck is. Why would you even? You know what I mean? There's gonna be, like, me and you could look at that and like, all right, we see what he's doing. But there's gonna be people like, what the fuck? Why are you even listening to this? You must be this type of way. Something's wrong with you. Like, my mom still thinks to this day because I wear red, it must be blood. Like, bro, I'm in my 30s. Like, you don't get it. You know, it's just the drip that you know what I mean? Like, there's gonna be people that don't understand what he's trying to accomplish and just totally write him off.
I'm gonna take it to another level, right?
Okay.
The access to information as Black people, right, is scarce. We don't know the same things that Jewish kids know, or like that people in wealthy environments know. So like when we talk about like financial resources, like financial literacy, and just knowing how to move into different circles, shit that that wasn't passed down from our great grandfather to our grandfather to our dad to us, and that information is being hoarded by certain communities. That information to me is so valuable that I don't care who teaches me that information, because I want to pass that down to my kids, especially of where we came up in.
But we don't think you're giving yourself enough credit.
We don't have a lot of access to that information.
You feel, how many people in our community you feel think like you?
Go ahead.
My fault.
Go ahead, Sade.
As a person who at one point in my life was extremely sensitive and I couldn't hear shit. I couldn't hear criticism. My dad, he's very firm and aggressive. And I think this is what helped me be able to digest someone like Kevin Samuels or even Andrew Tate. I enjoy both of them for my own reasons. But it's like, sometimes you have to know your audience. I get what both of you are saying, and I kind of agree with both of you, but I feel like it's not always the job of the messenger to reach the audience. However, if you're trying to reach an audience, you should be thinking about the audience you're trying to reach. So it's like, as a parent, sometimes I have to meet my kids where they are to help them understand where I'm at. So it's like, if you want to talk to females, and I think I had this conversation before, it's like, I'm super sensitive. So there's some things you're going to say to me and I'm just going to want to cry, and then I don't hear shit else you're saying because you hurt my feelings. So now I can't even hear you. And if you want me to hear you, sometimes you have to meet me where I'm at. And it's like, listen, I know that this is a hard thing to understand. And you have to put it in a way where it's like, okay, I can digest it. So that's what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
But sometimes I feel like you also, as an individual, you have to get to a point where you know that if that's bothering you that much, like when I first listened to Kevin Samuels, I was so upset. Like I would cry from some of the things he said because I'm like, I kind of internalized a lot of the things he said. And it's like, it was because I'm an intellectual. I was able to kind of go back and say, oh, well, I'm upset because it somewhat did apply. And is there something that I need to change? A lot of people aren't doing that kind of work. So they're trying to reach a certain audience. And a lot of people in those audiences are not ready to hear what they're going to say. They're not mature enough to be triggered and then go review why they were triggered. Mm-hmm. And I feel like is it really the responsibility of the messenger to do that?
I'm glad.
And I think that's a personal thing for the messenger. It's like, okay,
what is your goal?
Exactly. So if it's like, I really do want the women to be able to hear me, then you might have to talk a little differently. Else they're just gonna be fucking be mad. Samuels. They're gonna fucking be mad and they're gonna tune out and they're gonna curse you out. Or you're going to say, you know what? Okay, I really, as much as I want to help these young men, I want to help these young women as well. So let me have certain episodes or certain conversations where I'm directly talking to them. Because it's like, think about it. If Kevin Samuels, he has a daughter. Was he talking to his daughter in that fashion? That's how he should have been thinking about the young women he was talking to. And he didn't. And that's not really his job to, but if you're trying to reach that audience, then you should consider, okay, how would I talk to my daughter in this situation? And if there's something that I could say that that would reach them, that they would be able to hear me and know that even if I'm telling them something hard is because I care.
Exactly. And look, I feel like Kevin Samuels, like right now, like, so let's keep it 100. I really watched his streams. A lot of the things that you see with clips are like hot takes.
Yeah.
You're not seeing all of he didn't talk like that all the time. He had cordial conversations. He was very respectful at times until lines were crossed or when he really wanted to like, hey, listen, look, you need to get this. So I feel like Kevin Samuels genuinely took his profession serious and it was there for a goal. Right. He really wanted the conversation to supersede him and keep going. I don't feel that from Andrew Tate. I feel like he has a lot of good messages,
but he's an agitator.
But he's taking hot takes. I feel like this is for his career, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. But that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying.
I get what you're saying. I guess I'm thinking more inward, like 50 Cent said, right? Ain't no school for this shit.
Nah,
you got to be smart to pick up the information as you go, and I don't care where that information comes from. And like I get what you're saying, you're almost like looking at his career almost like you're his manager, and like he shouldn't really be doing that. He could kind of connect to his audience a little better.
It depends on his aim.
Not even just that. My thing is just I like to see what people like. What are you trying to do here?
His aim.
Exactly.
His aim. What are you aiming for? Are you really trying to educate women and help women and men build better relationships? Are you just on here trying to fucking entertain people by talking crazy and making everybody laugh or making everybody upset? Because either way, you're gonna get a reaction. But it's like, what reaction are you trying to get?
What are you trying to? And authenticity for me is the key to everything. Once that bubble pops of whatever you're trying to do is just like,
I can't. I'm not being fed by you anymore.
Exactly. You lost me, dogs.
I think information is the centerpiece of his content though, because a lot of because he's not dancing all over the place.
No.
He's not.
He's all right. So I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
It is kind of performative.
It's performative. He's not fact based. I've watched somebody that I've been watching a lot of like intellectual debates. There's a guy I follow named Destiny. I think I talked to you about it a lot.
I know who he is.
There's a couple of times you see Andrew Tate debate with real intellects, and he is nowhere in their league. He does not have the answer. He cannot. He is for I'm gonna send you this clip. I gotta send you it because I'm not even gonna go over it. I want you to see it and see how that big man, like how he portrays himself, looks like a baby in that debate. He could not hang.
So it's like
I saw that debate though.
So you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but it's like he's overzealous in some of his viewpoints. I saw when he's talking about girls can't drive.
Oh, the statistics on that. That's one of the things. That wasn't the whole debate.
That's what I'm saying. But it's like I get what Andrew Tate is saying because he didn't go into statistics and he didn't look at insurance claims
data and all that shit,
exactly. Yeah. He's just saying like a bunch of niggas in the motherfucking living room be like, it's raining, baby, I'm driving.
Yeah.
You gonna let your girl drive?
No.
So what are you saying?
I get what you're saying, but so the thing is though, we're talking about truth, right? But if we're talking about truth, it can't just what scale? Like macro, micro, like truth is truth.
Because he does have some good points and he does have some overzealous
points.
Are
we talking about truth or facts? Because you can have a personal truth and it's like this is my perspective, this is what I see, and this is from my experiences, this is how I'm giving it. Or are you going based off facts? So it's like
that's what I'm saying.
With Kevin Samuels, he would do the numbers. And when I looked up the numbers for myself, I'm like, oh shit. He's not wrong.
And that's
Andrew Tate, sometimes it's a generalization where it's not really, it's his personal truth because of his experience. And it's like, I don't know if I agree. I get where he's coming from, but I don't think that's fact.
I feel like the truth gets lost in the sauce when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
That's kind of like the world we're living in right now. It's like a lot of the facts and the truth.
What the fuck is
empirical
the word?
Fact?
Empirical data? What's the word? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I'm saying like that's the world we live in. It's like people are sometimes like the facts and the truth and the real stuff gets lost in the entertainment value.
Exactly.
Like I even think I seen something where Kevin Samuels was like he kind of went at women because it was getting him the numbers. It was getting him the numbers. He was like, did I really want to do that? No, but it worked, so I did it. And I feel like a lot of times we live in this age of like social media where everybody wants to tell their truth and everybody wants to talk about what. And I feel like a lot of these conversations that we're talking about are based off of individuals, families, and communities. They're not generalizations. It's all people's experience and people's perspectives. And it's like, well, I feel, and it's like, okay, where's the fact base in how you feel? It's like, you can feel everyone's allowed to feel how they feel. But when it's on this large scale, it becomes somewhat detrimental because we live in this hive mind world where the individual's damn near lost because there's this collective thought of all women and all men, and I feel like the conversation needs to be had within those relationships.
And that's a fact. And
it's
honestly,
like how can y'all talk about all men and all women if when you're in a situation with a man and a woman, y'all aren't having this conversation on a level where both of you can be heard and be understood. If y'all not doing that, then this conversation is stupid. It don't make no sense for everybody to be arguing because I feel like a relationship is personal.
Yeah.
When you're with a man and a woman, some things might go for one couple that don't go for another couple. And that's personal. So I feel like to generalize these conversations is kind of stupid. So I get what you're saying about like Andrew Tate. He's somewhat performative. Like he makes people laugh and he makes people angry. So it kind of gets him the numbers.
I said this analogy before, but this is something I like. I feel like it's the atmosphere we're in these last couple years. And it's like so frustrating being an adult and seeing it. And it's like nobody catching on. You remember when, like, say he was in high school and the popular kid is trying to like pick on the smart nerdy kid, whatever. And the nerdy kid is speaking pure facts. But because the popular kid is fucking popular and everybody loves him.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh no, you're stupid. Like, it's just like, no, he's actually fucking dumb and he's wrong. Like, I'm not saying that about Andrew Tate, but it's just, I feel like that's the environment we're in nowadays. If you have enough people that like you, it doesn't matter what the truth is
Most
anymore.
people are going to side with
you. It's
you.
just because, we like this avatar. This is my guy. Whatever he says, we're with that. That's it. And it's just like, bro, it's like, a bunch of NPCs.
Like a popularity
It's a fucking bot fest these days, bro. Everybody's just agreeing. Like, for instance, and it's on the other side too, like when we talk about the red pillars, like in the conspiracies, like there's like, oh my God, like every single, there's just like no rationality, no type of like, I agree with him on this point, but I didn't really understand that. I think that was a little weird. Why can't you pick and choose? Why? Like, that's why I can't even say like, I'm and any religion. I can't say I'm any political party because both of them are like fucking going too far. Like they're like, what are y'all talking about like right now? I feel like nobody wants to make sense. We're hive minding it right now. Everybody's just like.
But it's because everybody wants to be, I feel like it stems from like everybody wanting to be a part of something. Like every individual wants to, like I see it in the work that I do. It's like a lot of times it's like they don't like me. I don't fit in with them. My family this. And it's really just like everybody's looking for something to be a part of. So if I kind of agree with you, I'm going to be a part of you. And you're popular on top of that, I'm gonna side with you because if I don't, then I'm not gonna fit in, and then I don't have a group.
That's scary, bro.
I think it's a mixture between like Sade said, the pendulum swinging.
Yeah.
And like, cause when I look at it, we've been fed this narrative about women for a long time. Like if you look at like Al Bundy, Married with Children. Look about what that show was about.
Yeah,
how he surrendered to his wife.
Yeah,
you know, and he had to conform to a certain society where she was almost in charge, and he needed a voice through his no man club or whatever. Yeah. Or if you look at Gina and Martin, you know, that was a relationship show.
Yeah,
you know, he used to go on the show, talk about relationships. They'll have little side things going on, but it was a show about men and women dynamic. Yeah. You know, I think that narrative was fed to us over and over. It's always been like that.
Yeah.
These like family stories where men surrender in the household, you know, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
You know, and I think art is contrast. So we finally get to a point where we see a contrast. Like I remember Kevin Samuel was saying that men don't have a primetime leader, like a TV show. Like we have Oprah, we have Wendy Williams, we have all these gurus for women. We even have Steve Harvey, who's
definitely big advocate for women.
Yeah, it's a narrative for women. Who speaks for the narrative for men? Primetime TV. Nobody, and we finally find that in Kevin Samuels or the Red Pillars. So it's like it's a space opened up because there was a void for it.
But America doesn't want that. America doesn't want that. Like it's even in like international news. Like in China, they're like all that sissy shit. They don't feminize their men in any way, shape, or form because they're trying to build warriors. They're trying to build fathers and leaders, and that's not necessarily the case here. Like they don't want too strong of a black male leading other black men. That would just destroy everything that they put in play for the last hundreds of years. It would destroy like the dynamics of men in the workplace. It would destroy like the hierarchy of men structurally here in the United States. That's just not conducive to what they want. If you have a bunch of men leading women, what the fuck is gonna happen?
I think at this point it's not even a white or black thing. I think it's a masculinity. I think there's assertive masculinity thing versus
passive
I think I
bitch made nigga type thing.
Yeah,
you know,
I think like it's just trying to like just create less confrontational or less
assertive man.
Yeah, more docile.
Yeah.
Easily manipulated.
Look at all the dads in the TV shows.
Like herds. Just keep the sheep where they need to be.
Yeah, look at all
the dads in the TV shows. The moms run the house and the dads just
it's always been like that.
Lie. Don't tell your mom.
Yeah.
Like
Terry
that's
Crews, big brolic ass hiding from Pam everybody hates Chris. Like it's
but that's what I'm saying. Like they don't want, whether it's black or white, they don't want strong, assertive.
The last strong.
They think it's aggressive. Like they don't see healthy masculinity as just assertive. And a lot of times assertive comes off the wrong way. Just because it's assertive doesn't mean people are going to be able to digest it.
Who's the last strong father avatar we've seen?
Bill Cosby.
Was he?
Yeah, he wasn't. He ain't play no shit.
That's a good point.
He wasn't never no hiding behind his.
That makes sense. And then they destroyed him with all those allegations because it would just destroy the credibility of him, the show.
Uncle Phil as well.
Uncle Phil was a beta.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
He was a beta?
He was a beta.
Nah, definitely not. I think you're wrong.
Uncle
with
Phil?
that. Yeah, I think you're wrong with that.
Vivian?
Yeah.
Nah.
I might be thinking of the wrong show.
You
Oh, I'm thinking of Family Matters.
Family Matters, yeah.
No, I'm thinking of Family Matters.
That nigga was
Uncle
made.
Phil, no, he's not.
Yeah, Carl was definitely better.
That's what I'm thinking of. Family Matters. My bad.
You know what's funny though? To keep it a little lighthearted, Homer Simpson was an alpha.
Yeah, he was.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was. He was.
He was a goofy ass nigga, but he was definitely an alpha.
He was still running shit.
Yeah.
Marge didn't work a day in her life.
Right? Yeah.
Marge was living a life. She worked when she got bored and needed to feel like something. I remember Bart was like, she was like, "Where do you get your money from?" He said, "Where do you get your money from?" And she was like, on the episode, yeah, he was definitely a dumbass alpha.
He had a good job. He looked at the nuclear plant. He didn't do shit, but
every once in a while she would get a job because she was bored and was like tired of their shit at the house.
Yeah.
But then she'd end up right back at home.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know where we're going, and I kind of like.
I think it's gonna just keep getting wackier till everybody realizes, like, all right, we went too far, we fucked up, and the kids are fucked up. Because if you think about it, that's where it leads. If you have a whole bunch of like households where you have this unfavorable dynamic, you're gonna come out with a whole bunch of families that are either raised by single moms or men who are a lot more passive, and they're not giving their children, whether daughters or sons, the tools they need to be men and husbands and wives, men and women in society. Yeah. It's just going to be out of balance, and everybody's just going to be all over the place. The boys aren't going to... We see it now. We see a whole bunch of boys who don't want to do nothing, and women busting their ass trying to figure it out. Yeah. Like, I think it's just going to get to the point where it's too far, and it's going to affect children and families and the economy more and more, because you're going to have a whole bunch of men who don't want to do anything, and they're too soft and too docile and feminized, and they're not going to want to do shit. And you're going to have a whole bunch of women who are just alone and busting their ass and trying to raise these kids, or end up alone. Yeah. And everybody's just gonna be like, you know what? Maybe we need to revisit this conversation. Maybe we need to rethink the dynamic and meet somewhere in the middle where it works for everybody. Because I feel like it's kind of like, I don't think we realize that we all have access to both energies inside of us. I agree. We have the access to our femininity. And men, it will come out as creativity. It will come out in other ways, not being docile and passive. It's just like, and women have access to their masculinity when they can do things. I feel like we don't understand femininity and masculinity at its core. And we're just looking at it on the surface, because that's all we're talking about is how women are dressed and their sexuality, how men, behave in their aggressive nature. It's just like it's all surface, what it looks like type things. It's not really at its core what's really happening. Like, even when you look at the relationships, it's just like the dynamics all off. And I think it's gonna be disruptive.
Have you ever heard of that woman that went into disguise as a man for a couple of years, and she wrote a book called Self-Made?
She killed herself, right?
Yep.
She went to
because men are treated so harshly, and men have it so hard, and she couldn't fucking take it.
She went to prove that being a man is easy, and how it's way easier than being a woman, and found out the opposite. And started to write a book about her experience, and she even started to dislike women, had a hatred for women after her experience. Yeah. And she couldn't even finish the book and just offed herself, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's so crazy. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's like, I don't want like, oh, poor you type. No, I'm not looking for that. But it's just like, just the awareness, like appreciation, bro. Like, out of the relationships I've been in, like, especially like the early toxic ones, like, man.
I feel like
I don't know. I want it to be understood. Like this, there's this thing I used to like. I used to go have an art class, and they used to make us draw women, and it was like, oh, there's a beauty to women. And my art teacher said something to me. He's like, yes, there's a beauty to women, but don't forget there is a beauty to male.
Oh yes, it is.
To a man, not his features
and the way he moves.
It's just the beauty of things. Being a man. Like like for me, honor. Like there's shit that I won't do. I'm not saying women don't have that, but there's shit to like being a man. Like, you ever like just built something with your hands
all the time?
Do you know like how good do you feel about yourself after doing that? That's like I feel like a kid again. If it's like the purest version of myself. Yeah. It's something artistic about being a man and creating something with your hands or protecting something. Like I feel pride like when I'm walking with my shorty and like she's on the wrong side of the sidewalk. Like, no, come over here. You know what I mean? Or like when I open the door for her, I feel prideful. Like, or like if she's scared, like the other night we were sleeping in the bed and she heard something in the door. So I got up and I went to check the door. I felt like even though she woke me up at 4 a.m, my girl doesn't feel secure. Let me go secure the house. I feel good to do that. There's something good about it. It's like I found a lot of that stuff out when I was on like everybody goes through like a healing journey. If you're watching this and you just can't relate like a healing journey, you just never been through shit. Exactly. I can't say like it any deeper. Like there's a lot of niggas that just say, oh, that's deep. A lot of kids do that. Yeah. Like OG tried to tell them some shit and they're like, oh, here he goes with knowledge. You just haven't been through shit. Yeah. Any young nigga that has ever been through anything and God brought them to God brought them to their knees. They understand you have to go through a healing process. Part of the healing process for me was being by myself, understanding my heritage, where I came from. A big component of it is understanding and revisiting just me as a man, you know, and what my duties are as a man. What principles I stand by, you know, and what I'm going to instill in my family. You know, a lot of people just disregard all that and try to keep this like dandy nuance. Yeah. You know, and try to live like Lenny Kravitz and Prince, and they try to, but they don't really. I'm pretty sure Prince like explored his masculinity and found his principle as a man before he put the tight pants and the bell bottoms and things like that, you know, because Prince was definitely on some real shit. Yeah, he stood firm in his confidence and his assertiveness, and you can't sample me if you don't own your own masters. You know, he still had principles, but he still came off a little feminine. That was his art. Art is feminine. Yeah, you know, so a big part of that people don't really realize is like on your healing journey, you have to explore your masculinity and what that means to you. Word. I feel like that's it's balls, bro. Like it took me a while, bro. Jamaicans have a saying that is I've heard my entire life from my father. You need to learn yourself. Like that is the key. Learning yourself, man. Like and it goes for women as well. Like I don't know what that experience or that journey is like, but as a man, like I could have went through life being like, "What was me, man? I got to go do all this. I got to pay all the bills, and she don't do nothing." I don't think like that. That's not how it is. It's like shit's hard, but I'm gonna figure it out. Yeah, there's something that I find so prideful. I'm in that, and it's like it's not on some like, oh, I got to be the one that but it's like
I get to.
There's something I gotta take care of this shit so these people can be good. I get joy from that. There's something about that as a man that like I know I have the capability to provide and protect, and if I don't do it, who will? I need to do that. I'm needed. I get what you're saying too, because I was talking to this girl and I was like, basically, if you fucking with a nigga and he doesn't have any pride in his foundation, you know, and like you meet him and he don't care about having his own, and he don't care about
starting off with a centerpiece, which is his house, his home, his whatever assets he has, and like building an empire with you off of that, you need to leave him immediately.
He's leading you to hell.
Like, because there's, you meet a certain couple of niggas and you're like, oh, you messing with that chick? And he's like, yo, she dropped a BMW.
Oh, nah. You gotta go.
That's what I'm saying. If you meet and it's like, oh, they expect to really use you for your resources and lay up in your crib.
That's
and,
not.
Oh, she got the Benz. She got money, my nigga. She got money.
That's not a man's mentality.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
and I think that's what girls have to learn. Like a lot of women
it's
have
really
to learn,
important.
Like, because just like you guys, I mean, we still have to figure it out. Like, especially if we have children or just, brothers, siblings, and our parents, there comes a point in your life where you kind of just don't want to do so much. And you realize like you're in situations where you're wearing the pants and you don't feel, then you become defensive.
Yeah.
And then you become like very hardened and you just feel like you have to do everything, and then you feel used, and your femininity kind of takes the back burner, and you don't feel soft, you don't feel loved, and you don't feel nurtured. You become angry and bitter. And I think we still have to find ourselves, and I think we have to figure out what our brand of femininity is, because there's tons of archetypes and different brands of like femininity. And I don't think that always means what women think it is. I think a lot of women group up like the housewife and there's many different aspects of being feminine that I think a lot of women take for granted. And they will,
I like that.
And when you're not in your femininity, you do come across more feminized men who see that you work hard, who see what you do and what you can do for them, and they will drive your car. You will be paying their phone bill. I've been that girl. And it was only because I was so strong and I was willing to figure it out, and I was willing to do what I needed to do to take care of myself. Some guy in his feminine saw that I was doing that and wanted access to that. He didn't want to do anything. And then you realize, like, you start thinking about the type of man that you would want and how you want to feel as a female or feminine woman in a relationship. And I think not too many women, like there's a lot of things about it now, but I think it's like dark feminine where they're angry. And it's more of like they're in their, like I see a lot of women talking about being in their villain era, and it's just a lot of pain. And it's a lot of unprocessed hurt from the men that they've encountered, starting all the way up to your dad. I think for women, that's like the biggest piece that I've noticed is a lot of women who don't have respect or value men for masculinity's sake didn't have a father who expressed that and showed them that. Like a lot of times, like when you're a little girl, your father's your first love. Your father's your superhero. Your father takes you out on your first date. Your father gives you your first gifts. He shows you how to be loved by a man. And I think a lot of times, especially now we have like a lot of single families, a lot of women don't get that experience straight out of birth, like straight from a kid. Like a lot of women don't ever feel safe around a man. So they always feel like they have to do everything. They can't just be. Yeah. And I notice like when you're in your feminine, it's like I could be going to the store and I'm fishing for change and the guy's like, don't worry about it. And I'm like, no, it's okay. He's like, no, I got it. People open the door, like people are more willing and receptive to you. And in that, you get to receive a lot. Even in a relationship, sometimes it's like, you don't have to do everything. You have someone who's willing to like step in and do the things that not necessarily you don't want to do, but that you can. You don't have to do it all by yourself. And I think that we've just come accustomed as women to feel like we do.
Bars.
With that said, that's another episode of the IC. I'm Sean Johnson, Head Steph, Sade Renee. Peace out.
Yeah.